So a common concern for those who are thinking of adopting a plant-based diet is the development of a B12 deficiency. So in this Vegan 101 video, I will explain everything you need to know about vitamin B12. So what is vitamin B12? Vitamin B12, otherwise known as cobalamin, is a water-soluble vitamin that is made by neither animals nor plants but microorganisms and can be found throughout the environment such as natural water sources and the soil. B12 plays an important role for metabolism, formation of red blood cells, the production of DNA and RNA, and the maintenance of the central nervous system. So as you can see, it's definitely an important vitamin that you don't want to be deficient in. Thankfully, it is stored in the liver for many years, and it can take even up to 5 to 10 years for your stores to be depleted. But when your stores are depleted and you're starting to develop a deficiency, you also risk the development of anemia, abnormal mental symptoms, and irreversible nerve damage. So yes, at one hand it's a very rare condition, but on the other hand it's a very severe one if you do experience it. Vitamin B12 deficiency can occur in two ways. One is through the intrinsic factor and one is through the extrinsic factor. Intrinsic factor, as the name hints, is internally. So intrinsic factor binds to vitamin B12 and allows your body to use it. If you don't have intrinsic factor, you cannot use vitamin B12. Certain health conditions can prevent you from producing enough intrinsic factor, such as GI surgeries. Now, extrinsic factor is just a matter of simply getting enough vitamin B12 from external sources. Now, there are a few sources of vitamin B12 out there, the most common being animal products, fortified foods, supplements, and ones that I would call natural sources, such as raw foods with soil on it, or drinking water from a natural source out in nature. But those natural sources may not be sanitary and they may contain harmful bacteria and other microorganisms. Now, those may have been a source of B12 for us in the past, but I personally like decreasing my risk of consuming food and water that may be contaminated with things like E. coli, salmonella, so I'd rather go the hygienic path and avoid those types of things. But even if you did choose to consume those types of natural sources, it would probably still be an unreliable source because we spray everything and sanitize everything, that there probably is not very much healthy bacteria around to even produce vitamin B12. So then you might say, well, between animal products, fortified foods, and supplements, animal products sounds like the most natural way to go. But I would advise a bit of caution before choosing to include animal products as a source of B12, because if you do that, you also choose to include animal products as a source of saturated fat, cholesterol, and other harmful stuff that is just not good for you. So remember how I said vitamin B12 is not made by animals or plants. So choosing to eat meat, you're assuming that that animal has a healthy microbiota. But factory farm animals are still injected with vitamin B12 because we're feeding them all these unnatural diets and hormones and antibiotics and all these things that destroy their natural bacteria. Heck, there's even vitamin B12 supplements for your meat-eating dogs and cats. So choosing to include animal products as a source of vitamin B12 is not a good idea. So then the question is, should you consume fortified foods or a supplement for a source of vitamin B12 on a vegan diet? I personally consume a whole foods plant-based diet, so I try to avoid as much processed foods as I can, and that is why I personally choose to supplement vitamin B12. It's the exact same stuff that is in fortified foods, so why not just go with the supplement? I feel that you can monitor your vitamin B12 intake a lot better if you do choose to use a supplement versus just consuming foods that are fortified with vitamin B12. Now, there are different types of forms of vitamin B12 out there and different methods of getting vitamin B12 in you. There's some controversy between whether you should get shots or a sublingual supplement, and I can't really pick one or the other of which one is better because the research is controversial. But what I can say is the sublingual supplements are a lot cheaper than the shots. And I hear that the reason why so many doctors promote shots over sublingual is because they can actually profit off of that, because you wouldn't need a doctor to just use a sublingual supplement. So it's just something to keep in mind. Same with the forms. There's cyanocobalamin, methylcobalamin, hyrdroxocobalamin. Pretty much they all work just fine. There are some sources out there saying that methylcobalamin, hyrdroxocobalamin are absorbed more efficiently than cyanocobalamin, but again, any of them will get the job done. Now, the supplement supplement I use, and I'm not sponsored by these people, this is just a supplement that I found to be one of the best out there on the market, and that is the one made by Kind Organics. This is a methylcobalamin supplement, and the great thing about this is it doesn't have any of the preservatives that other vitamin B12 sublingual sprays will have, such as potassium sorbate. So this is seriously the best one out there. I highly recommend it, but you guys can feel free to research your own supplement that you find that will work well for you. So how much vitamin B12 is recommended per day? The RDA is set at 2.4 micrograms for people over the age of 14. That is essentially nothing. So if you're worried about a supplement, you only need 2.4 micrograms. Just to put that in perspective, Americans consume 1,000 times more of the vitamin B12 recommendation in sodium. So you need traces of vitamin B12 a day. That is nothing. So you may pick up your supplement bottle and look in the back and you find that one spray equals 500 micrograms. And remember, you need 2.4 a day. So you're thinking, holy crap, I am about to overdose and head to the ER after one single spray. According to the CDC, about 1% of large oral doses of vitamin B12 passively diffuses into the bloodstream from the small intestine. So no need to panic, you just produce really expensive pee, as Dr. Michael Greger would say. So now that we covered all that, who needs to supplement? Definitely vegans and vegetarians, right? Most of you guys watching this show are most likely on a plant-based diet. You guys need to consider supplementation if you haven't already. This is a serious condition if developed, and the data is clear that long-term vegans and vegetarians will have low B12 levels. Maybe if you do choose to incorporate more of those natural sources that we talked about, but like I said, nobody knows how reliable that can be or how contaminated and harmful that can be. So just something to consider. And individuals who are over the age of 50 are recommended to supplement. Also, people who have gone through GI surgery and have had those parts of the GI tract removed that produce intrinsic factor and absorb vitamin B12, as well as some people with digestive disorders such as Crohn's disease or celiac disease. So whether you choose to supplement or not, I highly recommend going to your physician and having your blood work done. That way you can objectively see everything, including vitamin B12, if you are low in it and whether you do need to supplement. Like I said, this is a serious condition if developed, so you do need to consider the consequences. So I hope this video helped. Click the thumbs up button down below if it did, and share this around with anybody you know who may benefit from this knowledge. And also subscribe down below for more videos on the vegan lifestyle and nutrition and health topics. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you guys in the next video.